Okay, welcome to part 2 of the lesson on how to do interactive animation in Adobe Animate. We are going to start with looking at the script. So the script is something I'm giving you access to on my page. If you click here on script, it'll show up. Don't be intimidated. You're not going to have to invent this. I'm going to let you use the script that I have written already. The thing that the script does, just effectively, is tells it to stop the playback and then look for something called B1 BTN. And when it sees that, add event listener. So it's going to listen for something to happen. And it's going to listen for the mouse event of clicking. So it's going to basically, when it sees the button, it's going to try to listen and see if it can hear the mouse clicking. And when it clicks, it's going to show image 1. And when it does the function of show image 1, which is the mouse event, it's going to go to and stop at a place called image 1. It's a little cumbersome. It's a little difficult to wrap your head around all at once. But basically, you're saying, when I see button 1 and I hear a mouse click on it, I'm going to show a picture. When I show the picture, it's going to go to a place called image 1. Stop right there. So in order to make this all happen, I need to name things. So right here, B1 underscore BTN, B2 underscore BTN, so on. What I'm going to do is go into Animate, and I'm going to name this the thing that it said in the script. So take your black arrow, make sure you're on your buttons layer, make sure your buttons layer is unlocked. Click only on the first button and go to properties. Under instance name, type B1 underscore BTN. That has to match exactly the capitalization. Everything has to match precisely with what we see in the script. B1 underscore BTN. Perfect. Second button is B2 underscore BTN. Third button, I know you can figure this out. You go through and do all 6 of them. I went ahead and did all 6. I went ahead and paused it while I did them so that you wouldn't have to watch me type that 6 times. Those are all named, and now they're telling in the script, it's telling them to go to a place called image 1. So we need to make the place called image 1. So how do we do the next steps? I want us to make a layer just for the pictures that these are going to go to. If you remember from the example, whenever you click it goes somewhere, I want to make the place that it's going to go to. So making a new layer. And for the time being, I'm going to lock the buttons layer. I may need to unlock it later, but for this one, I'm going to call it images. And I don't know if you noticed this, but we've been operating looking at frame 80 this whole time. There are actually 80 frames of this movie that exist. It doesn't need to exist in 80 frames. The actual number of frames necessary to make this possible is 7. But I'm going to make it in 80 frames just so you can see labels and things when I put them on. It makes it easier for a beginner to see all the information. So I'm going to put all of the larger pictures. Remember I had those B pictures, picture B, the larger ones. I'm going to put those at a series of keyframes. So I'm going to go to frame 10, insert a keyframe, and I'm going to drag out picture 1B, B for big, right? That's my big picture. And I'm going to set that in. And I think I want to, okay, it's going to be X90 and Y140. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, but if you need to pause and do this real quick and have it up on your screen, it's X90, Y140. I'm going to have this picture selected, go to Properties, 90 and 140. The good news is you don't have to memorize this because we're going to use that exact same way of swapping things as we used before. So this is simple. Right-click on frame 20 in the Images layer, insert a keyframe, click on the picture one time, and hit Swap because you're going to get picture 2B. And then right-click on the frame 30, insert a keyframe, click on the picture, swap for 3B. 4, 5, and 6 will follow. I'm going to do those while my playback is paused. Finally, got it all together. If I played this back right here in the regular view, it would just look like a slideshow that ticks through. That's because I don't have it in the playback mode that shows interactivity, and I haven't quite gotten to that interactive part yet. I haven't put the script on it. So what I'd like to do is get myself ready for that script. It's right here, and the places where the buttons, so the buttons I've named already, and then the buttons are going to take me to a place, image 1, image 2, image 3. So I'm going to name places for the buttons to go to. That's going to be right here. When I click on frame 10, remember that's a keyframe. I'm going to go up here to this little window where it says label the frame. Image 1. It's really important that you maintain consistency. If the script had it all in capital letters, we'd use all capital letters, but the script has it all in lowercase letters, so we're going to use lowercase letters. When I click on frame 20, you'll see that label actually just popped right in there. And we're going to go through and name the rest of them. Image 2, image 3, image 4, image 5. You get the general idea. I'll go ahead and pause my recording. Okay, we're almost to the end of this. We just need to lock this up and add my last layer. My last layer is going to be for the action script, the script we've been looking at. So I'm going to call that layer actions. If you look at that layer, there is a blank keyframe at frame 1. Click on the blank keyframe at frame 1, and now there are 3 ways to pull up the action script window. You can press the F9 key on your keyboard. You can, in the properties window, hit this little up arrow icon, or you can go to window and pull it down to actions. Any of those will bring up your action script window. At some point, you may wish to learn how to write action script from scratch, but for today, for this lesson, you're just going to pull the script I have on my screen. It's linked from my website. If you highlight it, make absolutely sure that you highlight all the way down to that last little bracket. If you don't get that last little bracket, then the whole thing falls apart, which is very annoying. So make sure you get that last little bitty closed brace bracket. All the way from the word stop, all the way down to the bottom in that bracket. Then I'm putting my mouse right on top of where it's highlighted and right click and copy it. And when I come back to animate, right click and paste it. That gets me the script I need. I can close that window the same way I opened it by pushing that button, pressing F9 on my keyboard, or just closing it with the X at the corner. And there's something you can see here. If you look really carefully, right above the little circle that means it's a blank keyframe, there's a little letter A. And that means that there is action script on that frame. So if you ever find that you can't figure out where you've put your script, look for that little A. Now I'm going to save this file. So save as. And I'm just going to put it on my desktop, but you can put it wherever the heck you've got your saved files. And then I'm going to publish it. So when I go to File and I say Publish, that's going to actually create 3 different icons on my desktop. So if you look at the desktop, I've got Hawaii Interactive, Hawaii Interactive, Hawaii Interactive, right? The thing that I need you to know is this one is the HTML file. Sorry, this one is the HTML file, rather, because mine has a different icon. Sorry, my computer's different. But find the one that says it's an HTML document. And if it's defaulting to open in Internet Explorer or in Microsoft Edge, it's actually probably not going to work on your computer because of the way the browser was installed. So what you want to do is find the HTML document, right-click, and tell it to open with Chrome. In our particular computer lab, Chrome is the one that works. It may tell you have a blocked plugin over here. That's okay, I'll help you with that, or you can just tell it to allow, but this should work. Now, if I click a button, it should take me to the thing. And it does that sometimes if you get a little agitated. But if you have it like this, if all 5 of your buttons work and you had a beginning piece where it told me about Hawaii, then you are done with this project. Congratulations. Show it to me before you leave.